Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub. It is Friday, June 11th, end of the week. Ian Cameron, Skee Prophet, Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh, the usual cast with you on a Friday, ready to break down the NBA playoff slate. We got Philly, Atlanta, game 3, series tied 1 game apiece. Denver and Phoenix, Suns up 2-0. Denver looking to stay alive, looking to respond with effort, something Michael Malone said his team had none of the other night. We'll see if things are different tonight in game 3, and we'll see if it's good enough. Phoenix looks like they've got the edge in that matchup, but Denver looking to win a game they've got to have tonight in that game 3. We'll break those games down. We'll look back first on last night, and the Milwaukee Bucks, man, they're driving me to drink. Not that I don't love drinking, so maybe that's a good thing, but they're getting me to that point where I'm just ready to, throw my laptop out the window, throw my remote through my television set, watching this team basically come out the way I thought they would, in the first quarter. Aggressiveness from Giannis, Chris Middleton going off from three-point range. The prop was an easy one for me with the Middleton over 22.5 points last night. So figured he'd bounce back. He did. Unfortunately, I had Milwaukee in the first half, and I didn't take them in the first quarter. I only took them in the first half at -3. And I did salvage a push with that. But when you're up by over 20 in the first quarter, you're feeling good about your first half bet. But they went to sleep in the second quarter. Brooklyn got back into the game. Milwaukee stopped being aggressive and settling for jump shots again, something they've done just way too much of in this series, allowed Brooklyn back into the game. And, of course, we had a game on our hands at that point on. And, of course, after that, it was a nip and tuck back and forth affair. Brooklyn got the lead with about a minute to go, but Milwaukee rescued themselves and escaped by the skin of their teeth to make it a 2-1 series. But if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm not feeling good about this series after that win last night. That was supposed to be your spot, and you basically let Brooklyn back into the game. You didn't, keep them down when they were trailing big after the first quarter. Obviously, Giannis and Chris Middleton were great. They accounted for almost 80% of the points last night for Milwaukee, but the supporting cast was pretty quiet. The defense is still sus. Well, it was better last night, but offensively, it's still – when they refuse to be aggressive and go to the basket, that's when things go awry for Milwaukee. We kind of saw that again in the second half and in the second quarter specifically. So, yeah, Milwaukee gets the win they needed, but not sure it's an omen of them really truly getting back in the series. They're going to have to show me they can play better than this in game 4 and beyond, because Brooklyn, to me, still has a pretty good hold on this series with still up 2-1. The other game last night, this is the series that's been the best one so far, Clippers and Jazz. Great series it's been. The Jazz get the job done again. Conor Mac liked Utah yesterday on the show. They get the job done, win and cover in that game. Mitchell, amazing again. He's getting to that superstar level. I wasn't convinced of it, but he's getting there now with the way he's playing for this Jazz team. Joe Ingles had a nice night. They had the Clippers' problem in this series, guys, is their transition defense stinks along the perimeter. It's terrible. Where are they getting back and guarding the 3-point line in transition in this series? They're not doing it. They're getting killed. Utah's just pushing the ball down the floor, and they're shooting up those 3-point shots, and there's no transition defense, and they're not getting back to guard the perimeter, this Clipper team. And the Jazz are burning them in that series with that, and they're up 2-0 as a result. And now the Clippers, you fell behind 2-0 in the last round and got away with it. You may not be as lucky here this time around against a much better Utah Jazz team. So the Clippers in a little bit of trouble, down 2-0 as the scene shifts to Staples for game 3. Skee Prophet, we'll start with you on some thoughts from last night's 2 games.
Main thought, nothing I didn't know. Giannis sucks. I know he had 33 points. I don't care. He still sucks.
His free throw shooting is embarrassing, man. Work on it. You can't be that bad at the free throw line for a guy that's supposed to be the guy you are.
Especially if you're taking 13 seconds to shoot it, you should be going
air bowling free throws. Yeah, with all the time he takes. Oh shit, brutal.
But no, just for real, I feel like everything is a lot harder for people around Giannis because of his inability to shoot and how you can defend him. And it's just the same story every single year for the playoffs. I'm surprised they were able to win that game, honestly. They got out to that good start. That kind of helped them. But in my mind, how I felt watching the game was I felt like the game was rigged for Bucks to win but not cover. And I didn't have the Bucks, but I'm just saying, that's how I felt. That's how it looked like it was being played or called. What was that? Brown taking all those shots in the clutch?
Yeah.
I know he's having a decent game, but come on. And I think Brooklyn smacks them up next game. So we'll see. Bucks got their one win. They can say they didn't get swept. And the next game, go for it.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The Clippers and the Jazz. Clippers, I mean, the series doesn't start until you lose on your home court. So Clippers still in the series. I think that Donovan Mitchell a little bit banged up. They can maybe get the job done, especially if Conley doesn't play too, and you have a banged up Mitchell. So I think Clippers still have some life, although I would prefer them to get swept. But that's how I think about those two.
All right, Dutch, what do you think of last night?
Yeah, salute to the chat, everybody in there. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, last night was a little frustrating to me. I smoked a lot of flour last night. I ain't gonna lie to you, watching that bullshit. We were watching a high school basketball game. Shit was garbage. I mean, Chris Middleton and Giannis, they did their thing early. I mean, KD though, how did we not get 32 there? This motherfucker was missing every single shot. I watched him, he missed, and then finally he started hitting a little, made me sweat. He had 30. I wish he just would have stayed bricking, because then it wouldn't have made me think that I was actually gonna cash it. But it was a little, Drew Holiday, not aggressive. I don't like the offense they run. To me, I think they can run a pick and roll with Drew and Giannis every single fucking time down and make something good out of it. They don't do that. That game was really frustrating to me. They scored 170 points combined? Like, come on, man. What the fuck are we watching here? I'm surprised they won there. I did jump on, Brooklyn fucking money line. I thought that they were the way they closed out the first half, I thought that we would be there, and they were there. Skee said some fishy shit. Maybe it was, I don't know, but it was definitely landed right on that 3. That was some bullshit. But yeah, it was definitely next game to win, and they could have pulled that one out. But I still think it's obviously probably going to be over in 5. Late night, we got Donovan Mitchell. He showed out. He's still banged up, dropping 35 on these motherfuckers. We cashed over 30.5 on that. O'Neal only had 1-3, did it in the fourth. So, we might have to stay away from that. I believe he did go over on his points, though. Of course, I didn't bet it. And, it was overall, exactly what I thought from Utah. I had a -3. I wish I would have loaded up even a little bit more on it, because it was definitely something I was seeing very clear about. I mean, they shot a lot better. Ingles did his thing. Clarkson had a great game. Rudy played fucking defense and got rebounds. To me, they're definitely going to be handling business in Utah. Like Skee said, it doesn't start till we go to LA. But Utah's going to be a handful. I definitely think that there's a strong possibility to move on to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and all the post-game comments from Utah and the interviews they did on ESPN after the game, they're like, we're a different team. We want to show everybody we're a different team. We're not the chokers. We're not the early exit in the playoff Utah Jazz, the last couple of years. We're ready to make a run and go deep into this thing this year. And they're starting to look like a team that maybe is capable of doing that. I had my doubts about Utah. I know Skee did, going into the playoffs. We weren't really buying what the Utah Jazz were selling necessarily, but they're starting to convince me a little bit more and more with every good performance, and obviously out to a good start in this series now against the Clippers.
And this is without Conley too. Keep in mind, Ian.
Exactly.
They're doing this, and Conley's had a solid year, so it's impressive to me.
Yeah, I said that on Twitter exactly last night. No Conley, and they're up 2-0 in this series, and they played pretty well. So it's really impressive stuff. Total embarrassment by me that the Brooklyn-Milwaukee over was my best bet last night. Only stayed under by 65 points. I was really close with that one. 86-83, 169 points in a NBA game in 2021. 169 points. I mean, that's like NBA basketball from like the 80s or something, or early 90s when you get scores like that. I've not seen an 86-83 in a very long time in an NBA final score.
Grizzlies game, something like the Grizzlies a few years back or something.
Yeah,
Grind
you're right.
City.
You might have had a couple. Grind City, yeah.
But it wasn't like great defense either. It was a lot of missed shots.
Bricks.
Bad offense. Brick City is what it was. You're right. It was
horrible shooting
than good defense. Connor, what did you think of last night?
Yeah, just the horrible shooting. I mean, they both shot like 30%. They both chucked it up from 3. I think the Nets shot 19%. I think they shoot better. That's why I think they win the next game. The Bucks only shot 25%. But they came out like we talked about. They had to come out early. They did. Then they let the Nets back in the game. It was close down the stretch. But the 3 in the hook came in handy there. I had no props in that one. And the late game, Jazz came through. Everyone but O'Neal. Bogdanovich. Mitchell was great. Again, he had over 30 points and his threes. And the over, we just got over the over. Jazz covered, so it was a beautiful night. I was happy.
Yeah, very good.
I'm ready for the day.
Utah, definitely last night. All right, let's turn to tonight. Now we got two good games. Philadelphia, Atlanta. We head down to the ATL Hotlanta for game 3 tonight. Sixers 1.5, 2-point road favorites in this game. 223.5, 224 the total across the board. Philadelphia laying points on the road. You know my feelings about that. Now I know it's a point spread range here where they win the game. They probably cover, but I don't necessarily feel all warm and fuzzy inside with back in Philly here as road favorites. I actually think Atlanta could win this game. I like Atlanta a little bit here, +1.5, +2 tonight. I think they'll play well. They play good at home. They've been great at home for months now. 20-6 against the spread. Their last 26 home games. 5-2 ATS. Their last 7 as a home dog. Trae Young had turnover issues, in the last game. He was rushing things. The Philly defense was on him. I think that forced him to make bad decisions with the basketball. Credit the Sixer defense. It was a lot better in game 2. They talked about having to be better, and they were. And I'd expect Trae Young, though, on the home floor to be a lot better tonight for Atlanta, be an assist machine, not a turnover machine. I like his points and assist prop over 36.5 tonight. Trae Young, I think that's a very good player prop to look at. On the Philadelphia side, I think Seth Curry remains undervalued from a point standpoint, 13.5. This guy's been getting to the mid to high teens and even in the 20s. A little bit here in the playoffs. I like that prop as well. Seth Curry on the Sixers side. I think Lou Williams at a cheap price is a value prop tonight. I think he's going to, something about this feels like a Lou Williams spot. Back home, I don't know, maybe he's going to get a few more minutes. I just think he's due for one of those games where all of a sudden out of nowhere, he just goes off. I think tonight could be one of those games. Lou Williams over 6.5 points. The problem I have with Philly is, are you going to get Shake Milton's points on the road like you got in game 2? I don't think so. Ben Simmons was terrible offensively in game 2. You're going to need a lot more from him tonight going into this game. I think Atlanta is the side I would lean with here. I think the more I see Atlanta, in game 2, if not for that unexpected flurry of points from Shake Milton, it could have been a much closer game, and we might have been going down to the wire again with those two teams. So I'm definitely looking at Atlanta here plus the points. I don't have an opinion one way or the other on the total. I'd lean to the under with where the number is right now, but I'm not betting it. And I'd like those props I mentioned. Seth Curry over points, Trae Young over points and assists, Lou Williams over points tonight in this game. Skee, what do you like here? Philly, Atlanta.
From the side, if you like Atlanta, I would take them first half because they've only not covered one, I think, during the playoffs. And Sixers have kind of been opposite. Like, not only have covered one, but they've been poor on a first half spread. So that's the only way that I would play Atlanta in this game. Other than that, I think the Sixers, once they see whatever adjustments Atlanta comes out with in the first half, they can make their adjustments, and I think they eventually win the game. From the total, it makes me nervous that I saw McMillan telling Trae Young to pick up the pace in the last game. But other than that, I've just seen both teams talk about defense. Doc Rivers, after the first game, said that they need to step it up. Joel Embiid said that we want to come out with defensive intensity. McMillan said we didn't do a good job establishing and controlling our defense. So I just hear a lot of defense talk, and I think that's the adjustments that are mostly going to be made. He said that there's some things they can do to Embiid, and some things that they can do to Embiid, and we'll see how that works out. He said they didn't like that they gave up 24 points in the paint in the first quarter. So I leaned under. I leaned Sixers full game. And if I'm playing props, it will be Bogdanovich, points, rebounds, assists. He's gone over 25.5, 22 of his last 30 games. Collins, if you could find an assist prop, I know I said it last game, there was one out there. I think they may have stopped offering it because he's hit every single time he's played Philadelphia. He's gotten an assist, and he's had at least one assist in 73% of regular season games. So that's what I like for this one. And I saw a comment pop up. Yeah, that Forbes prop was such a dud. Nobody scored except for Giannis and Middleton, but plus 1750. I'll take my little sprinkle shot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm going to park the bus at the Bryn Forbes station, I think, after last night. I won't be driving that bus anytime soon.
Right.
What do you think here? That was obviously just a one-round wonder, his performance against Miami, because he hasn't given you much in this series so far against Brooklyn. Dutch, what do you think here? Sixers and Hawks.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Kevin Riley, Turnsy. I see you, bro. Big Zo. Yeah, from a side perspective, I think I'm right with Skee from what he was talking. I agree a little. I do agree with you though, Ian, about the props. I'm definitely looking at my guy Curry. But like I mentioned to you guys, I was very surprised at that game one performance by Philly. I think Atlanta kind of, started off real hot from three. But personally, I think Atlanta's overmatched here. I think they figured out a way not to stop Trae Young, but to contain him. 27.5 seems a little high to me, to be honest with you. I like Simmons. I like Thibault. I like these guys a lot. As long as they can stay out of foul trouble. Trae Young's to have a long night, in my opinion. I'm not mad at Atlanta first half. I could see Philly starting off a little slow, but I jumped on the -1. I thought it was cheap. I mean, Philly's shooting 51.9% from the field in the playoffs. That's best. They also play some defense. They're well coached. They have, to me, the most unstoppable player. Big man, I'll say this. Maybe we could talk, we could talk the way KD likes to fucking fade away so much. Powerful force in the league in Joel Embiid. He's unstoppable. And to be honest with you, I've said it already. Atlanta has nothing for him. What's going to change now? I think he's getting healthier as the series goes. I know he's questionable. This motherfucker's playing, and he's getting 35 plus. We're going over 32.5 points again with my man, Joel Embiid. I got it at -115. Now, peep these numbers real quick for my man Joel Embiid in 2 games versus Atlanta. 39.5 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 1.5 steals is what he's averaging against this team. Shooting 54, 37, and 84 from the field or from the free throw line. That's his numbers against this team. You tell me what's going to stop him. Only thing that's going to stop Joel Embiid is himself. I think he's going to be locked in, zoned in, and like I mentioned, 35 plus. I'm right with you, Ian, with the Curry over 13.5 points. It's a little juice right there, but he's got 21 plus in both games. I mean, he's got 10 of 15 from the 3-point line in 2 games. He's shooting, he's locked in. Atlanta hasn't even seemed to do anything to stop him. Now, from the Atlanta side, when I watched this game, I like Kevin Huerter, the Huerter cat. He's been playing off the bench. He was a starter. Now he's coming off the bench. He's averaging 17.5 in the 2 games, and he's 6 from 11 from deep. I like his little swag. He's fouling hard. Kind of like the kid, to be honest with you. I definitely think we'll get over 11.5 points. I know it's kind of Bogdanovic, Gallinari, who, pick and choose, but Huerter plays defense. He'll be getting the minutes, and he's been locked in from the 3. So I think we get over 11.5 points. But I definitely like Philly here to handle business and remember, they lost game 1. So this series is 1-1. They need to get home court advantage back on their side. They'll do it here tonight. Let's go ahead and take Philly -1, 1.5, 2. They'll win by 5+ easy.
All right, there we go. Liking Philly and liking Curry, liking Embiid. I like Embiid a little too. It seems Captain Obvious to take him, but over 32.5. He's at 39 and 40 in the first 2 games. I mean, you've actually got wiggle room, considering what he's gotten in the first 2 games. So the Embiid over, it's like almost like, it's got to be over or pass when you think of Embiid over.
You can call me a square, but the money that's going in my pocket is square, bro. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's all that matters. Wins at the end of the day. And you know what's good about taking Embiid tonight is Atlanta's damn good on their own floor. If Philly wins, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I wouldn't expect it to be. I think it'll be a competitive game, so you're not going to have this nonsense and this bullshit that we've had to put up with these props that look so good. And then, starters are out for the 4th quarter. Sorry, you lose. We may not have to deal with that tonight.
Completely agree.
Connor, what do you think here? Philadelphia, Atlanta.
Yeah, I like the Hawks tonight. Not only first half, but I think full game. I just keep thinking of the 76ers struggles in Atlanta. I know it's a playoff game, but in the regular season, they always go down there and seem to lose. So I like the Hawks here with the +2. And you can even get it now. There's 2s everywhere. I lean under as well. I just don't see it getting over unless it's just really hot shooting, kind of like game 1 where they came out. Because Philly needs to keep it tight. They need to keep it slow down, low scoring. On the Hawks, ever since McMillan came in as coach, slowed the pace down. So, yeah, I like the Hawks. I lean the under. I like Harris. I'll stick with him over 20.5. I think he gets him and Embiid just seem to get theirs. Is Ben Simmons going to show up? 4 points last game. I think he'll do better. He could be a sneaky double-double. Have it at +180. And 3 props. I think Huerter, like you mentioned, maybe Collins, some of those guys plus money on their 3 props will look tonight.
This is a big game for Philly because this is the spot they lose in, in previous playoff years. They're not tough enough to go on the road off a big home win and play the same way. We're going to find out a lot of the Sixers if they've taken that next step maturity-wise. Go on the road, tough place, good home team, and get a big playoff win. We're going to find
Hawks
that.
fold, though, too. They've had, a rich history of blowing. I mean, both teams.
One stat that did stand out to me real quick is, the Sixers are 0-6 ATS in their last 6 in Atlanta. But to me, this is playoff basketball. This isn't the same Philly team. I don't like that stat, but, that's the only thing I really don't like about this game.
Yeah, that's what you get in a playoff game. You can make good cases for one side and bad cases for one side, and you can make good cases for the other side and bad cases for the other side. That's playoff basketball, competitiveness. You can make good cases either way. Next up, we've got Denver and Phoenix. Can we make a case for Denver? It might be difficult to do that the way they've looked in the first 2 games of this series. Just completely outclassed, really, by the Suns in the first 2 games. But now they're back at Ball Arena in Denver, the Mile High City, and they better hope home cooking cooks up a better performance tonight. We've got the Nuggets here, slight home favorites here in this game. The total in that 222.5, 223 range in this game. I do expect Denver to respond and be strong early, kind of like we saw Milwaukee come out of the gates firing against Brooklyn. I think Denver's got pride on this group with the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic and company, to play better early. I think they will, especially with Michael Malone saying nobody gave us effort. The guy that gave us our greatest effort tonight, embarrassingly, was the guy that just came back from injury, Will Barton, who he kind of said was his best player the other night. I think he's forgetting Jokic's contributions, but it was just one of those nights. Denver was out of that game early, and it was over by halftime, essentially, with the way the Suns were playing. There's just matchup problems all over the place for Denver in this series. So I do think they come out early. I do like them first quarter a bit and a little bit first half as well, but I don't want them in the full game because I think the longer this game goes, Phoenix has the potential to show their superiority again. And let's not forget the Suns went on the road, won some a big clinching game against the Lakers. They can win on the road. They're not shy of being able to get the job done away from home. And to me, there's a backcourt mismatch. Paul and Booker versus Campazzo and Austin Rivers, who's done nothing in this series compared to the Portland series. I think it's just more of a product that Austin Rivers, you're not shooting against Portland's defense anymore. You're shooting against the Phoenix Suns, a lot better defensive basketball team. And we're seeing that right now. Jokic was Barton were the only 2 players that did anything of worth in the last game. And the more this series goes on, and people said Denver's bench was stronger and deeper coming into the series. You wouldn't know it watching the first 2 games. Phoenix has got a lot more different contributors chipping in and making an impact nightly than the Denver Nuggets right now. And right now, DeAndre Ayton is going to be someone that I don't think they have a defensive stopper for him inside. It's a backcourt mismatch as well. I think they're doing as good a job as they can on Jokic and trying to make sure they keep him out of the paint and maybe make him more of a volume jump shooter instead. I think that's the right play when you're defending Jokic. So there's just a lot of matchup things pointing toward Phoenix. And I think the home court and the urgency level of being down 2-0 could give you a good start to the game for Denver, which is why I kind of like them in the first quarter and first half. But I'm not touching them full game because I think we could see Brooklyn-Milwaukee all over again with this game. You get the good start from Denver, but Phoenix chips away at the lead, comes back, makes it a game in the second half, and we're right down to the wire again, where maybe the Suns could steal the game, and the Nets almost did that last night. So I only like Denver early. In fact, I'll be betting Phoenix. If I cash these 2 Denver bets, guys, first quarter and first half, I'm going to take Phoenix live at halftime. 100% I'm going to do that because I don't trust Denver to run away and hide, even if they have a strong start. So that's my strategy. Denver early. And then we're going to go with Phoenix live in game, maybe at halftime if I get those 2 Denver bets to cash early. The over I like after an under the last game. I think we see the pendulum swing shooting wise here in game 3. Denver has to shoot better. They have to, or else they got no chance. And I don't think they're going to stop Phoenix defensively. That's just not a good series defensively for this Denver team to match up against the Phoenix Suns. So I like the over in this game. As far as props go, for the most part, I'm looking more toward Jokic. This is the game for him if the Suns are good, if the Nuggets are going to, show up tonight, it's going to be the MVP carrying them. I like PRA, points, rebounds, assists over for Jokic tonight. I think the Suns are tough for me right now with props because Could they turn this into a blowout? Maybe. And they're just spread their offensive output across so many different guys are contributing right now. Bridges, Crowder, Paul, Booker, go on down the list. It's difficult to pinpoint one or two players from a prop standpoint right now because everything is just so evenly distributed right now with this team offensively. So I'm staying off of a lot of Suns props tonight in this game. Skee, what's your thoughts here? Game 3, Suns and Nuggets.
Yeah, we're pretty much in the same boat here. Mike Malone was definitely ripping his team, saying that it was embarrassing for them, embarrassing for him. He said it's going to be tough for him to find 5 guys who actually care about going out and play the next game. So, it makes me feel a little bit tough, but I think him calling out his team and them coming home playing in front of the fans, I think that they will bring it. They asked him about Michael Porter Jr.'s health because he didn't look healthy to me, but Mike Malone not giving him any excuses. He says he's fine. And that's all he had to say. So I just love watching Mike Malone's interviews.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he gives you a lot. I like that as a coach. Yeah, it gives you something.
Right. And so I look at
Michael. I love when he says it's not Mike. It's Michael.
He had an attitude.
Get it right.
Yeah.
No, he does not like being called Mike. He does not. He hates it.
I know. He hates that shit. It's weird.
Yeah, I would have an attitude if I was getting blown out too. But Nuggets, I think they play better. He even said they have a hard time in the second half. Like on the season, they're 20th, I think, in second half margin, and they're second in first half margin. And you've seen it the past couple games. Second half, they just let the rope go. So if they don't bring it to start the game, when are they going to bring it? I like the Nuggets in the first quarter. I like them in the first half. And, I think we see points. Nuggets, both teams really, they want to try to get stops and get out on transition and run. But the Nuggets especially want to avoid that Suns half-court defense. Regardless, I think the Suns can put up a little bit of points. Denver is going to have to win by outscoring Phoenix. And you look at the first half number, it's come down. It was pretty consistently 113, I think, the first couple of games. Now down to 109.5. I think that's a pretty solid number there. And they average more than that, both teams, their last 3 games. They average more than that on the season. And I like first quarter over 55. I like first half over 109.5. If this game goes the other way, I'll be pretty irritated tomorrow. But Denver and overs early and often.
There you go.
Not really the full game. I agree with you. Not really the full game, but first quarter, first half.
All right, Denver first quarter, first half, and the over lean there full game, but Skee liking the first quarter and the first half over a lot more for game 3 here, Nuggets and Suns. And like I say, I think Denver is going to come out spirited when you're coach. And that was a scathing tirade he gave them, basically just ripping their effort and performance the other night, like really. And he hasn't done that often, but he felt he needed to. I think it's by design that he did that. And I think deep down inside, he knows, yeah, maybe there was some problems with effort or lack of effort the last game, but he knows damn well the other part of the problem is we're not matching up against this team right now. They're just better than us. They're kicking our ass right now, and maybe we're not as good as them. I think there's kind of truth to that, but he's got to try to fire up the absolute best effort he can get out of this team. And what better way to do that than just say they gave you no effort last night and hope they just show up and play insanely good tonight. The question is, will it be enough against a team that they've struggled to match up against? Dutch, what do you think here? Game 3, Phoenix, Denver.
Yeah, man. Shout out real quick to Eric Chain, our guy. My guy, Lucky Power, the hook. I see y'all, man. Yeah, what we're doing here is this. I'm right with a lot about what both of you guys said. First of all, I respect Coach Malone a lot. I like that guy a lot. I think he's one of actually the better coaches in the league. Gets a lot out of Denver, especially you guys. Everyone forgets here. I mean, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot. It's kind of overlooked. Jamal Murray's on the bench. That dude's a stud, especially last year in the bubble. He's a big piece of that team. But I believe Coach Malone will get one victory, at home. I believe he'll get it. He'll get his team ready enough. Joker's good enough, to get one. I don't know which game. I don't want to try to even, fucking try to think about it because you guys know I'm heavy and on Phoenix in this. I just think Phoenix is just simply better. But I do believe they'll win one in Mile High. I agree with you guys that if I had to take a side, I would look more first half for Denver. But I just think it's a bad matchup overall. So, I mean, there's no reason for me to bet this game. But I do believe, they'll win one at home. When I believe my guy Ray Charles keeps talking about it in the chat, we're going to be looking at the props here. CP3, We got the double-double last game. Go right back to it. It's at plus 110. They're adjusting it, but I really like it. He's averaging 19 and 13 in the series, and in both games, he's got 1 turnover. Shooting just unbelievable. 1 turnover, and he's shooting 14 to 24 from the field. CP3's locked in, taking advantage of this JV backcourt he's going against. I really like I'm not mad at over 15.5 points as well. But the double-doubles plus 110, I like that a lot. I believe Ray Charles is looking at points, rebounds, and assists. He's been getting rebounds as well, but I definitely will attack his points and assists. You can combine them as well. Great looks there with CP3, I believe. Also going to Ayton again. Now, this is juiced up to 129, but I dropped it. I like the double-double again with Ayton. We know we've went over his numbers numerously. I believe this will be a close game. This will probably be the most competitive game out of the two we've seen so far. So I'm going over 14.5 points, minus 110, and the double-doubles, minus 129. He's got a double 6 of the last 8 games in the playoffs. And the only way I don't believe he does get it is if it's a blowout. And like I mentioned before, I think we'll get Denver's, best bet here tonight, or, best effort, I should say. Shout out to Rick the Ruler, my guy. So when I look at it from that aspect, I'm going to not even touch anything from Denver. I expect it to be a full team effort. It's got to be Joker's got to get his, obviously. Michael, my back hurts. Porter's got to do something, And then, of course, you got Gordon. You got all these guys, Rivers, Gordon. You got all these guys that got to, they don't have to have gigantic games, but they all have to contribute. Monte Morris has been MIA in the 2 games, played great against Portland. Motherfucker don't even look like the same dude in Phoenix, so we'll see. But, yeah, I definitely would look Denver first half, and I would definitely load up on these 2 props. CP3 and DeAndre Ayton will continue to eat, and they'll do that tonight.
Yeah, the 8-1, I'll probably end up betting that again because I was just so disheartened to see him fall a half point short the other night, only because it became, as you mentioned, Dutch, a blowout, which I don't think we're going to have tonight because I think Denver's actually going to show up and keep it relatively competitive for much of the game. But popping back on 8 again over points definitely makes sense. Connor, what do you like here tonight in Game 3 with Phoenix and Denver?
Yeah, you come back down 0-2, kind of like the Bucks. Like you guys all said, you got to think they come out the Nuggets early. I lean that way. I'm not going to bet it, though. I'm going to stay off and just probably wait for an in-game look here. Because in the end, I think the Suns are going to be there, and they might win this game. So if you like them, maybe take the 2. I like the total a little bit here. I like the under. I think the game will be tight. I think the Nuggets got to play a little bit better defense. Because the Suns are just doing whatever they want with them, with that pick and roll. I'm with you, Dutch. I like the double-double with Chris Paul. You can't go wrong with Ayton. He should get it too. And yeah, it shouldn't be a blowout here. I got to sprinkle my 3 props. Payne and Johnson over 1.5 plus 145. Johnson's plus 190. And Booker over 2.5 plus 140. All good plus money looks on the props for 3s.
All right, plus money on the 3-pointers. I prefer when I'm betting those as well. Look for the plus price with those rather than laying a number.
Yeah,
you know what it's like. 3-point shot. There's huge variance. One night, some guy just can't buy a shot from 3-point range, and another night he goes off. You'd rather take the plus prices with that those huge swings that a lot of players have shooting the 3 ball. So that's why it's another good reason. Maybe look plus price when you're talking over those 3-pointers made props. In a game-by-game basis. All right, great analysis from Skee, Dutch, and Conor Mac. We'll get to best bets, Dutch's freshest look in just a moment. Before that, we'll pause for some messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Southtown 101, when you are in San Antonio, Texas, check them out. Visit them. Good food, good drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, and more. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports. They now have the Lawnmower 4.0. New addition to the collection. So make sure you check out Manscaped. Use that promo code PubSports to get 20% off your purchase. And mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports, NHL, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball daily, U.S. Open golf this month, third major of the season in golf, NFL preseason, 2 months away, college football right around the corner as well. Good time to open up an account and try out mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. So check them out, mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, it is time for best bets and Dutch's freshest look to wrap up the show. Skee, we'll start with you. Best bet for tonight.
Best bet for tonight. I haven't made one in the NBA yet, just because I've been doing a lot of work back to back to back. But I'll go with the Nuggets first quarter. I see a -1 at circa. If they don't come out in that first quarter, when are they coming out?
That's right. You would expect, obviously, focus and urgency, and kind of like the way Milwaukee, came out last night against Brooklyn. I mean, that first quarter, they were just a house of fire, and you would think, in theory, Denver's got the potential for that same kind of performance early in the game. So Denver -1 first quarter against Phoenix. Best bet for Skee Profit. Dutch, what do you got for us? The freshest look.
Yeah, man, the freshest look. We're going to the ATL, and we ain't eating cheeseburgers. We eating the motherfucking bird tonight. We're going Joel Embiid over 32.5 points. My man's going to be eating early and often. Lock that shit in. We're going to lock it up. Probably be up by double digits, too, in that fourth quarter. I hope, though. I don't have to sweat that -1. But I'm on the Sixers as well, -1.
All right, there we go. Joel Embiid over 32.5 points for Dutch with his freshest look on this Friday slate. Conor Mac, you're up next. What do you got for best bet?
Man, I don't know what I want to use. All right, I'm going to go my best bet. I'm going to take the Hawks. You could split it first half full game, but I want a full game, and I already see a couple twos. So give me the Atlanta Hawks +2 at home tonight.
All right, Connor. All right, yeah, head to head a little because Dutch is on Philly, but yeah, there you go,
baby.
Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah,
Atlanta Hawks.
Bang, bang that fucking bird,
yeah.
bro. Yeah. It's going down in the 702.
Yeah,
going down, baby.
Atlanta Hawks plus the points here for Conor Mac with his.
Damn, you got the bird called, huh?
I knew I got the bird called.
I feel a lot better about it now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I put the curse on Atlanta there with that with the bird call. Call of the Wild here today on the NBA Pub Hub show on Pub Sports Radio. Call of the Insane, I think, me. All right, next up, me with the best bet for me. I'm going to go player prop in that Philly-Atlanta game. Trae Young over 36.5 points and assists. It's his night. He's going to keep the ball and not turn it over tonight, not treat it like a hand grenade, make good decisions. And look, they're going to sink or swim with him tonight in this game at home. He's going to, I think, have a nice result. I think he's going to get his teammates involved, though. Bogdanovich, Collins, Werder, and company. So I like the assists as well, not just the points. So I'm going to go with that. Trae Young over 36.5 points and assists. Best bet for tonight. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub for this Friday, June 11th. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We've got Gerald Martinez, Jacksonville Zoe, Chris Brady, the Czar, Lucky Power, Anthony Witherspoon, Brian Watson, Rick the Ruler. Just too many to name here. Eric Chang, Gerald Martinez, go on down the list. Jimmy Gomez, Johnny K, The Hook, Viper MB, Bill McDonald, Lit Picks, John Chow. The list goes on. Montana Tony. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Turnsy, of course. We appreciate all you guys for joining us. We're back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, a Saturday edition of the Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Skee, Connor, and Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the NBA Pub. There you go, the Atlanta Hawks.
We be pumping. Shit, I had to get it out early.
See you tomorrow.
The zoo around here.
We can't end on my terrible bird call. We got to end with our usual finale here. Courtesy of Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the chat, the real ones, all day. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're going in. We're coming out. I'm coming out with the motherfucking bag. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed. Let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We be bumming. Show.
More hard.
Birdie.